Hello and a warm welcome to the first episode of Third Half Podcast, a podcast where we talk all things Sport.Fun, covering both football and American football. I'm Palmer and I'm joined by my co-host Velovee and Samooves. Sam, do you want to kick us off by talking about what is Sport.Fun?
All right, so Sport.Fun, which used to be only Football.Fun, is a Web3 football fantasy game where you have several different metrics. You buy players, you can sell players. Let's say you deposit $20, it gets converted to 20 gold. Once you have 20 gold, you can buy and sell players. On every player that you buy, you pay a roughly 3% fee, and then the player is yours. Once you have that player, the performances are based on the real life ones. So if you have Mbappe, he scores 2 goals. He performs very well in the game week where he's playing. Let's say he scores 2 goals against Bayern Munich. He will get more than likely high points. You have 5 strikers, 5 midfielders, 5 defenders, and 3 goalkeepers that win rewards each and every week. If your player is in those top 5 or top 3 goalkeepers, he will win TP rewards. TP rewards are tournament points. With these tournament points, you can buy and open packs. In these packs, you get more players and more shares of these players. There are roughly 200 players available on the platform, only in the football part. Now, recently, the American football is going to start with further expansion to the NBA and potentially even more sports. Fingers crossed for me, we get some tennis because I would love it. But that's all you need to know about the ecosystem of Sport.Fun is basically buy and sell players, win rewards, and repeat the process and enjoy the game. That's it.
Perfect.
Let me know if I missed anything, by the way. Maybe I missed something.
No, I think that's covered everything from
That's
my
it.
end. So that runs us through what Sport.Fun is. Velovee, do you want to kind of tell everybody why we're here and what this podcast is going to be about?
So basically, our podcast, we are three lads playing Sport.Fun. Both of us, we like football, and Palmer, he's our NFL guy. Like personally, me and Sam, we are not that into NFL. So that's it. We are creating here the podcast. We are doing a weekly podcast at first. Maybe we can do twice a week, or we don't know yet. We will see. But yes, basically three guys that play Football.Fun, talking about sports, talking about our experiences, and that's it.
Perfect. Yeah, I think for me as well, with the joy of kind of starting this podcast, it's just getting to have a bit more conversation around the game. I think with so much going on in terms of transfers in real life, injuries, big scores, it's going to be nice to have one kind of place to come and talk about everything. So yeah, I think that kind of covers why we're here. But it's not really a proper first episode without telling us everybody who we are, and I think they've already picked up the vast array of accents. So Samooves, do you want to tell us kind of who you are and like when and how did you find out about FDF and kind of a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so do I have an Italian or German accent?
You have a perfect accent.
I mean, it's Spanish to me because I'm just British, and they all blend into.
So it sounds the same. Yeah, so I'm Sam. I was born in Italy. I live in Germany, and the question was when I started Sport.Fun.
Yep.
Yeah, so I started in August. I was playing the beta for around a month, around 3 weeks actually. Then summer happened. I started going out. Sunshine was out, so I focused a bit less on the beta of at that point FDF Football.Fun. And then after a while, as the release got closer and closer, I started making more and more content about FDF since I was really really excited and really it was really my thing. I really love to create content about it, do pack openings, etc. And over time, it became a deeper and deeper relationship with me and the team, where recently I became an ambassador. And now I'm just making still lots of content now with the podcast with you guys, going live as well with you guys. And yeah, this is where we are today. The first day I was in FDF, I invested $500, which was 500 gold. As of now, the portfolio or player portfolio is only Bayern players with 1,500 gold value.
What team do you
It
support,
reached a
Sam?
peak. Yeah, Bayern, I think. So the peak was 5,000. It went back down. But honestly, for me at least, I'm not looking at the price action. The fact is that there's many opportunities that are like with this podcast that are happening at the moment. So I'm just grateful to be here. I'm going to continue making videos and also head over to the NFL with some questions to Palmer, and then I'll see if I keep the soccer. No, not the soccer. Yeah, the football
No,
players.
no. We don't say that around here.
That's it.
So for me, I started like first, I am Brazilian. So as you can see, my English is not perfect. So maybe you will see me saying some mistakes, but that's it. But yes, I started on Football.Fun the beginning of September. So right after we had the big hype, I entered. Um, and like I liked the game like very fast, and then I started to do some content. I created a YouTube channel. I created a TikTok to talk about it, to make some videos. Um, and yes, like the game is very cool. Like for me, I am passionate about football. Like since I was a children, I love football. So like for me, it's very very cool, and I invested like more than $1,000, I think 1K and 200, something like this. Um, and yes, it's been very very nice for me. I'm enjoying the game, and we have NFL coming and NBA soon. So and the token, so it's gonna be very fun.
little hint
Yeah.
about that. I think I was gonna say I've kind of got a lot of that I can probably relate to you guys. I mean, myself, I'm still, I'd say, fairly new in Web3 crypto. Kind of my first, experience of it, and obviously I met kind of Samooves briefly through that is MFL, Metaverse Football League, which, that was to me was a very soft launch around Web3 because it kind of was just like Football Manager online. Since then, kind of dipped my toes into a few of the projects and kind of met a lot of people. And for me, shout out to a guy so legendary. I kind of moderate one of the discords that he set up. We kind of run that together, and he put me on to FDF in the beta. I probably played it for a couple of days. It was too fast paced, too chaotic for me. I didn't have any experience with stocks or with shares or buying and selling. I was like, what is going on?
Wow.
So it was like ping pong, giving me a headache. So I kind of I put that down and thought, nah, it's not for me. And then Sol kind of reached out to me. I don't even know, maybe, weeks, months later, where the game went live. And again, I said, probably not for me. So, I kind of missed the first week of the game going live, and then I kind of joined in probably mid August. Had a little dabble here and there, and kind of my little dabble was probably a little bit more than you guys combined, because I run away with things. So kind of went on the roller coaster ride of it. And again, that then for me was that first experience of what, I think people chase in this crypto and Web3 space is a big boom in the game, and, some things going up, and I'm sat there like, what's going on? And I remember, it wasn't the day of the big spike. It was like the day before that. It must have been 2 a.m. for me. Definitely not in England. Please don't ban me. It was about 2 a.m, and every time I refreshed, it just went up, refresh, up, refresh. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I can't sleep. So I drove to McDonald's, and Mackey's is about 5 minutes drive from me. And on the drive between then and there, my port had just gone up fucking stupid amounts. And I was like, what is this? And messaging a few people. And then obviously the day after we had, even further boom and stuff. And
Wow.
kind of had to take a lot of money out because I was like, this is, for me, it's life changing. I've done a lot of things with it. So I've been able to purchase something that I will be hopefully, asking a question later on in it, and stuff like that has set me forward. So I'm forever grateful for FDF. And for me then, with the game crashing for a lot of people, I bought back in because I genuinely, for me, it's now a passion project.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of been lucky enough to make the money and take the risk away for myself. However, I just genuinely love the game, and I've got a few little discords that I chat with people from, the MFL space that also play with it, and we're all talking about it. Like, each one of us joined the game just thinking, this is going to be a load of crap, but we'll give it a try. And we all sit there basically waking up, messaging everybody, how are we this morning, and message throughout the day as kind of things chop and change. So yeah, that's kind of my discovery of FDF, and basically probably how I got kind of hooked, and why, I kind of reached out to Sam to say, do you want to start a podcast? Because I think there's probably a lot of stories like that where people are
Mm-hmm.
new to crypto, and have gone, I'm going to throw in, maybe $50, and I know some people that put $300 in and that went down to $50, and they've now gone back up through the love of the game. So it's certainly not a get rich quick, and I think people kind of are realizing that. But I kind of see a lot of core players now here for the general love of the game and kind of
Mm-hmm.
what it can do. What about you guys? What kind of got you hooked when you were playing then?
Like, for example, me, like you said, I forgot to say this. I'm new in crypto too. Like, my first, I created my wallet because of FDF. I remember
Oh,
it took like 1-2 hours to understand. I was like with ChatGPT, like, how do I create a wallet? What is a blockchain? Like, I had no clue about it. But like at the end, like when you understand, like you kind of then you
yeah.
get fastly. But I understand that for some people it's kind of hard to get into it. So that's why I also think that the cards deposit is gonna be very good for
Mm.
onboard new people on the game. Um, so yes, like you said, I forgot to say, but I am new in crypto too, so we are on the same boat.
Just say a
So
little
I
shout
think
out
I'm the
as well.
only one.
Yes, you
I'm
are
the
the
only one
OG.
here since a while.
Mm.
What's kind of okay? Go on then, Sam. So for you, who's been here a while, when you play FDF, is this something that you're like, oh my god, this is new for me, or is this something that you're kind of seasoned in and that you think, no, I know what I'm doing?
I mean, in crypto, you never know 100% what you're doing because it's so unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
Uh, the first time I was into crypto was 2021, so 4 years ago. When I created my X account was 2 years ago, but I'm sure you guys have heard of the different football games that existed in the past. You had
Yeah.
Sorare,
Mm,
you had Stocks FC, also that went down. Obviously, you had Royalties, which is like a French talent stock market thing, which is still here. You have Futium. Now I was in MFL, and now lately FDF, right?
mm-hmm.
There is a small difference with SDF now, Sport.Fun, compared to the rest, is that the rapidity in which it grew in popularity is nothing I've ever seen before. Obviously, you had the Sorare, which was massive at the time. It also had a very big rise, but it had different rules, right? You had unlimited players each and every year, like you had like yearly cards, basically, unlimited supply. And I think SDF has learned from that. You have only the player once. You have this amount of supply, 25 million, if everyone opens the packs, etc., and it's capped. So I think that SDF is something of fresh air in this space. Now, especially for me, I also was able, like I said, to have more opportunities through SDF. With the other games, I just made content and that was about it. But the fact that I was here early for SDF, I think made a big difference. So I think in me personally, it's something different, more explosive, less predictable. Yeah, I mean, just excited to be here, to be honest.
I think that's, when you say it's not predictable, I don't think you can sum it up any other way. Just kind of, as I was looking there, I was, before we recorded this, like Jordan Pickford's up 35%, and I'm like,
What the
what?
Why?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand it, but at the same time, you look and you go, like, what's going on? And I think somebody pointed out before that Ezri Konsa is more expensive than Grimaldo, and you're thinking, like, really?
It's the Premier League bias.
But then also, I think for me, when I'm now starting to get used to this game, I think a lot of crypto is very short-sighted. What is happening today? What is happening in the next hour? However, as SDF is kind of settled, people are now looking 4 weeks in the future to make trades and make moves, and people are looking to say, well, Grimaldo's got one, he's whatever, he's out at the moment, but say for it's a Spanish player, Cucurella is the left back for Spain, so Grimaldo is not going to go and get minutes for the internationals. However, Ezri Konsa is now going to go and get 2 starting games for England in the internationals. So there's going to be a 3-week gap for some players where they're not playing any games. So the premium already for people who are going to be going and playing, your Jordan Pickford, who's gone up 30%, it's because they're getting game time. So I think a lot of people that I speak to kind of see these games as just, you've got to be in early, you have to buy the most amount of shares, and then you just wait and you get money. And it doesn't work like that. And I think a lot of people got burnt. We saw Lamine Yamal go up to, what was it, $3.50 a share. On a kind of a strength curve, he was off the charts, that you were never going to get the TP required to make it sustainable. So people lost and got burnt. And we're now seeing this movement of people playing the game skill-based, saying, right, who's cheap, who's doing it. And I saw, I think it was Laird tweeted out 2 different people. I think it was Jude Bellingham and Stiller. Both have 67% chance to win the game, but I think if you were to put $100 into Jude and $100 into Stiller, if they were, both to come first, theoretically, you'd get 67 TP back, as opposed to getting like 1,000 TP off Stiller. So it's a probability game about, do you try and pay really expensive money, hoping that Yamal and Mbappe will get number 1 every single week? Or do you go and load an Amad Diallo, where you need him to hit once, twice a season, maybe,
Exactly.
you need Diallo to hit to get the same rewards, and it's a lot cheaper. So, that unpredictability for me is what excites me. It gives me that kind of, I don't just have to be the biggest wallet. I don't just have to be the earliest on Harry Kane. Like, there's a lot of people that if you were to join this afternoon, you can still come and make waves and kind of come top of the leaderboard. And that's what excites me, really.
Like, for example, there's a lot of different strategies. But for example, there's some people, like 2 weeks ago, I think, he put like 100K shares on the Stuttgart players. Yes, Chum Chum, our idol Chum Chum. He put like 100K shares on Steeler and on Middelstad, and both like got the first place, And but they were like, nobody knows the player.
Yeah.
And when they hit first place, like the price double, because like the people know, this player is actually good, So of course, like Harry Kane, Lamine Yamal, Mbappe, like we know that they are good players. We know that they can take top 5, but there's still very good players that they are, in my opinion, undervalued. Like there are still a lot of space to them, in the game, and people are starting to understand this.
Yeah. on your tool, Anderson
Mm.
is also a good shout. You're going on about it. Keep quiet. No, but there's many players that, like for example, for my Bayern stack, I have 100 shares of Kane, 100 shares of Olise, just so that they're playing, right? But all the other stuff is in the other players. So I have Upamecano heavy, Ta heavy, I have Kimmich heavy, Diaz heavy. And now like Palmer, like you said, there's been this rebalance, this reshuffling of shares
Mm.
where the top players have now come down to
Yeah.
approximately the same level of the medium players. So now you have like Olise going for 0. What was it, 0.14 or something,
Yes.
which if you told me that just 2 months ago, I would have thought was unthinkable, but he's now like at the same price as
Yeah.
the Pedri, the Vitinhas, the everyone else. So
Mm-hmm.
this reshuffling has made it so that the bigger players are selling off and then the middle and low players are catching up a bit. Similar to in crypto actually, which is really interesting, where you have, if Bitcoin sells off usually, it gets rotated into Ethereum, then it gets rotated into Solana because people are chasing the bigger and bigger rewards for
Mm-hmm.
potential, right? So in that sense, I think SDF is actually quite similar to the crypto market in a way.
Mm.
I think that's probably a really, really good point as well, that I think a lot of people expected that the front runners would drag up the rest of the market. So, it didn't matter if an Elise, like you say, or a Yamal was astronomically high, because people then believed that everything else below it would get pumped and their high holding would hold. But I think that example of kind of Bitcoin selling and dropping to pump the others is probably exactly right, and what one of the other names that I think a lot of people are kind of on the fence are just thrown out there is Malik Tillman. For Bayer Leverkusen, Tillman's out injured at the moment, and we're seeing a lot of movement from his shares where it kind of gets a little pump and then it drops off, a little pump and it drops off. And he came on yesterday, I think in about the 60th minute for his first minutes back from injury, and his price just went up by 25%, So if you're one of these people that like to look forwards, and go, oh well, they're suspended, they're injured, they're whatever it might be, and you get in early, you just put your feet up and wait with your 50k shares that have cost you absolutely nothing, and you kind of win the game back around that way. Moving on from that, then, kind of where do we think? So we've kind of talked about the highs and talked about the lows of players within FDF. Kind of what do we think that the general mood of the game is? Bit of foreshadowing on the old hat for any video watchers, or I was going to say video listeners. For anybody watching, I've got my Green Bay Packers hat on for the NFL, and so general mood of the game. We've got the NFL come in. We've had phase 1, we've had phase 2 of the pack drops. We're waiting on the pack opening on Monday the 10th. Am I correct?
Yeah.
For market to go live on the Thursday. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Me if I'm wrong? Yep. Kind of where do we think about the general game? I know a lot of people, maybe like you guys who are just FDF players, the market is tanked quite heavily in order to inflate NFL. Is that a worry for you guys? Are you just waiting for the kind of come back? Where do you kind of feel? Throw it open to whoever.
Like for me personally, I don't know. I think that maybe NFL will be more. There is more demand for it,
Yeah.
so I am expecting a bigger market cap, a bigger, like more hype maybe,
Yeah.
because like as I hear, crypto are very like Americans. They like crypto, so and NFL they are basically for Americans. So I can expect huge, massive buys. Like a lot of people buying, buying, buying. So at the beginning, like when for example, Patrick Mahomes, he will open at 0.0125, and I think like in 10 seconds he will be like one. Um, I think it's gonna be a very, very massive buys on the beginning. But we don't know. Like Sam said, crypto is unpredictable. We don't know exactly, but I think that it's gonna be very, very hyped on the beginning.
So for me, similar to what we discussed in the previous live stream, I think there's gonna be always a rotation of allocation. So you'll have now, obviously, that the NFL is gonna start. Even I sold some players, some shares to buy my 9 NFL packs. And basically, once these go live, if these players don't want to stick around with NFL or they don't know about it, they're more than likely gonna sell that for the gold and reallocate it to the football. Same thing with the NBA, same thing with any other sport that will happen. The players that are not familiar or are not interested in that sport, more than likely they're gonna buy the packs, wait for the run up. Maybe they're gonna keep some shares, maybe they're gonna sell all of them, I don't know. But there's always gonna be this constant rotation of allocation, especially when Palmer, as you said last time, in January, I believe, the NFL season is over. And coincidentally, in that same time, football is starting back up in Bundesliga or in England. It's still it doesn't stop, right? So then again, I think there will be another rotation going back into football, for example. So I think if these ecosystems can work together, I think it's going to be great. And for the price action, I mean, we knew there was going to be a sell-off, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's kind of probably the common sentiment, really. So yeah, I mean, I've just had a little look. I'm terrible with dates, as we've just found out. I think the NFL is going to be a really, really strange one. So I think we start in week 11 for the league. Obviously not the weekend. This should be released on Friday tomorrow. So not the weekend that we come in, but a week after. So that'll be week 11, which basically means we've then got between week 11 and week 18 of the regular season. Week 18 is called kind of wild card, week, where that's the final game for playoffs to see where people go through. And then after that, we're then in the playoffs. So, we straight away, half of the players potentially are no longer going to be, in. And as we whittle it down, we're then going to be literally left with very few players to even be competing. So I think I've heard the team saying that, instead of it being kind of a diamond league with 3 quarterbacks being top, they might drop it down to 2, they might drop it down to 1 just to make it competitive. But it's going to be interesting to see whether people will, if you've got a player who doesn't make the playoffs and do they get dumped down to 0 like a Kevin De Bruyne? Do people hold into the funds because the team have said that they're going to keep paying out for 4 months after the season ends? So do people look at it as a kind of a passive long-term investment where they just keep it and kind of get gold, get TP? I don't know how they're going to pay it back. So what kind of do they do there? And if they're going to be selling these players, do they move it into a new NFL player, or does it, do they withdraw from the system, from the game, or does it come back into FDF? So yeah, the Super Bowl is, I was going to say, it's at the moment it's to be decided. So I think it looks like it's going to be the first week of Feb. So, I was wrong on the end of Jan, but yeah, the first week of Feb, it's going to be over. And like you said, we're coming up to a run up where it's only going to be the Serie A and Premier League that are still going to have fixtures over December and the new year. So La Liga, Bundesliga and Liga, they're not going to have any games. So, where we're currently sitting, do people want to start buying Premier League and Serie A? The Jordan Pickford explosion, is that actually, are we stupid for not buying it? It's like all these things. So when I sit and log in today and I think about, right, what am I planning for, where's my money going for the next week? There's all these different factors. And I think it's easy for me to look at the market cap in FDF and go, oh, well, the market cap's down from 26 million to 22. The game's over. It's finished. I need to sell everything and run for the hills. But actually, I think, when you sit there and you kind of grow a pair and look at the market, there's so many opportunities for me to to make my port value, triple, moon it, as people
Yes.
say in the crypto space, shall we say?
Like Sam said, I think it's true that a lot of people are gonna reinvest the money they put it on NFL. They're gonna reinvest on football. Like, for example, me personally, I'm not gonna play NFL because I don't watch the games. I'm not interested on it. So the players that I'm gonna have on my founders packs, I'm literally just gonna sell and reinvest on football. And I think there's a lot of people like me, they received allocations and they are gonna just like Sam. And we are gonna reinvest on football again, and that's it. Because it's the sport that we like. And this
So
is cool. This
when
is
the
fair.
market dumps, I'm going to be tagging you to, how dare you, two of the third half podcast are dumping on me. But I mean, again, I've seen people talk. I know you guys are both in the SDF strategy Discord server, and I've seen people talk about they've got allocation of 5 packs, and they're not even going to buy them because they're like, well, I don't care for NFL, and I've told them, I'm like, just go and buy the packs and go and dump the packs instantly, because it's daft for people in FDF to not take advantage of this situation. But for myself, I mean, I've been very, very lucky. I've been allocated, however you want to call it, 130 NFL packs. That's cost me, I think it's like $2,500. But I'm like, get the credit card. MoonPay's here. So kind of, I've loaded up with it, and
Flex.
unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any in phase 2. But you win some, you lose some. I've been lucky in other phase 2. But yeah, I've got 130 packs to kind of go, and
it's already enough. It's good.
Well, I mean, it's never enough. Come on, but so for me, I've already kind of gone through and broken down the players out of the 72 that I do and don't want, and there will be some players that I just am instantly, see you later, don't care for you, and there's other guys that I'll be there spam clicking buy on drop day, to try and snipe some prices. So I'm excited for the NFL, and I think the mood of the game is kind of a little bit. People are on the fence, I think, at the moment, where they're kind of saying they're either looking at their FDF bags being down and they're okay with it because they understand the money will come back in, or I think they're just kind of excited for a new kind of adventure of NFL. And I think as somebody who plays the game and is on the game each day, I'm kind of I'm excited for it, really, and see what happens in the new game mode.
Just one thing I wanted to add is that I was allocated 9 packs at least. So even if it's just 9 packs, if you think about it, it's 180 gold. All of these NFL players, there's only gonna be 75, if I'm not mistaken,
72
or less, 72. So the odds of me getting a good player are quite high, actually. And even if not, I mean, I think Americans, they really love NFL. So if there's some players that they still want, with my 9 packs, I think it only makes sense for me to buy them, which I already did, and then reallocate them to my football or sell a part of it, because it just makes sense to buy it, like you said, Palmer. It's stupid if you don't buy it at these prices. And the same thing can be said with the NBA. I have no clue. It's just another opportunity to reallocate it to football. And one more thing I wanted to add was that with every downturn and with every upturn, like in crypto, there's always a narrative. So if your port is really down, people are the most fearful. There's the most FUD in the Discord. There's the most negative narratives that
Also,
you
the
can see in
Discord
the world.
yesterday.
Yeah, you can see like, oh, FDF is done, or they're gonna get hacked. I mean, the grandma is gonna nuke them. I mean, you're gonna get every kind of narrative that exists, and then when it goes up, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's gonna keep going up. It never
Yeah.
can go down. It's only gonna keep going to the moon, like you said. So with these things, I pay no attention to. First of all, because it's been 4 years now. I'm used to this by now, and second of all, I just have Bayern players. So everything I make, I put back into Bayern players, and I sleep very well. I am not shuffling. I'm not trading. I'm done with that. I did that a bit during the Velovee live stream, and I got burned each time. So I was like, I'll just focus on my team. I've already made good rewards. If I have one player that's in first place, I'm good, you know? That's it.
That's a good strategy.
Fun. Yeah.
What kind of then? Okay, so with your buy-in only with strat, and I can't remember how much is your port now.
1,500, I think.
So for 1,500. So what kind of TP then would you say that you average? Like, what's your what's the most TP you've pulled in with your buying guys? Where do you kind of sit on that strategy?
So just some context. First, I had 1,000 shares of many players. I had, I think, 40 players. So I was winning a lot, but I was averaging around 500 TP per game week, which is not that much. It was 0.2 TP per gold ratio. So my port was back then 2,500. I was making around 500 TP per game week, which isn't great. So then I thought, like you guys said, with the strategy change, the shift, I sold a bunch of Olise, I sold a bunch of Kane. Now I just keep 100 shares of each. So because they're playing, right? And then I reinvested everything else into Kimmich, Diaz, Upamecano, Ta. And just by this simple strategy, I've been able to win. I think 2 weeks ago, Kimmich became first, and he won 2,000 TP. So in that week alone, I made roughly around 4 weeks worth of TP that I would have made otherwise. So just by one player winning, going heavy on these players, it was honestly a good choice, like you guys said. And 2000 TP was 1.0 TP to gold ratio. So that was great. I was really happy with that. So yeah, gonna keep doing that moving forward.
Do you get this kind of off the? I mean, I've just pulled it up for myself now. The FDFleaderboard.com. Is that kind of? Do you guys use that and use kind of the community tools often?
I'm using actually. I was using the leaderboard just for see my place for the airdrop and something, but normally no. Normally I don't even check this.
What kind of site do you use? Any site then at all, or and I mean, there's FDF Tracker, FDF Leaderboard. I know I always say the June accounts with a certain Fukin no one. I don't know how else to pronounce it. There's kind of a lot of community sites out there that I think's good as well.
Like personally, me, I created a dashboard for analyze the players and everything. So this I used a lot, and one of the players, like my highest TP, was Anderson. And if you follow me on X, you know that I love Anderson. I do a lot of tweets like buy Anderson, because he's very good. So I think I have like 20k shares of Anderson. He's like 30% of my portfolio is just on Anderson. And my biggest TP was with him. I think when he played for England, when he made 170 points, he made the first place, and I earned like more than 3,000 TP just because of him, And I'm keeping him. I'm not selling because like I know that he's a very good player, and the international fixture arriving. So buy Anderson because he's gonna perform. So
isn't he like 30% of your port at one point?
Yes. No, it still is. It's still. So that's it. Yes.
What about yourself?
If he wins, it's good. Good.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you have to add not financial advice at the end.
No,
I think
it's
By
a financial
Anderson,
advice.
but not financial advice.
I think that definitely was financial advice. That's the
In my
worst
case,
part.
it's a financial advice.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm looking at FDF leaderboard now, and for October, my ratio was 0.522, and in November it's 0.684. I don't really know if that's good or bad. I think when I kind of look around, I see a lot of bouncing between 0.2 and 0.3. So I'm quite, happy with that. There's certainly some outliers who are kind of 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. But I can't argue with, kind of getting 50% each week of my rewards. You know, there's a lot of guys. I think with the smaller squad values that kind of get, you know, 3x their port. You
Yeah.
know, if you're, say for instance, somebody that just has 2 or 3 players, you know, it's probably a lot easier to kind of get that up. You know, my port is, I don't know how many players. What's the easiest way to check? 37 players at the moment. You know, and that's 19.4k. So, you know, if I'm pulling in, you know, anywhere between 10 and 15,000 TP each week, it gives me, you know, 2 or 3 kind of legendary packs, and go from there. I actually, I want to moan for a minute. Oh my God. Yesterday, right? I cut a load of players from my development squad, and I thought, after the phase 2 fiasco, I'm going to treat myself to a legendary pack. So I was like, right, let's cut them all. Legendary pack loads up. What am I going to get? First out the door, I'm like, get in. I've got Pedri. Come on. So I'm like, you know, I think it was like $47 worth of shares for Pedri. So I was like, come on. Next through the door, Romelu Lukaku. Not really what you want. I'm trying to
He's
think.
injured, so yeah.
Yeah, but exactly. I forget who was number 3. I think it was Pavlovic. And then door number 4 was Jonathan Burkhart. And I was like, so my legendary pack value was $90, 47 of which was Pedri. So Pedri was worth 55% of my pack, and I was like, just fuming. So, you know, you win some, you
Double
lose.
fuming from phase 2 to this.
Yeah, I'm like there writing an angry tweet.
Oh, that was the tweet.
That was one of, I think.
The legendary. Oh, it makes sense now.
So yeah, that was like kind of, I was like, oh, you know, it is what it is. I thought I'd cheer myself up, but not. I mean, so that's kind of where we feel that the game is going. I know we touched on NFL. What are we kind of? I already know Velove's answer. I mean, what are we most excited about going forward, other than Elliot Anderson for England?
Anderson for England. I mean, he's gonna play tonight. We are recording on the 6th November, so he's gonna play tonight, soon, in 2 hours, and we will see. We will see. They have the international fixtures, and that's it.
What are you kind of most excited about then for the game going forwards? You know, kind of FDF. And again, we've got MoonPay coming. We've got the do you call it dollar fun? Is it just fun? I don't know how to pronounce that. You know, the token, the fun token. You know, what kind of are you looking forward to most going forwards then?
I think the MoonPay they announced it like today. This is gonna be good for, like I said, to onboard new people on the game, like the one that are not into crypto. You know, it's gonna be good. So yes, this is a good thing. The token, the fun token arriving, it's a good thing. I hear that they are gonna reward players monthly, so it's not gonna be a airdrop like boom,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
people leaves. You know, so it's gonna be monthly. So this is good for people to keep engaged with the game. To receive the airdrop monthly. You know, I think it's a good choice. And we will have NBA and then World Cup. So I think we have a good future arriving. It's my opinion. Even NFL, like they are gonna launch, and there's still the playoffs and everything. So I think we are in a good future. We are in a good future.
What about yourself,
Uh,
Sam?
Yeah. So for me, yeah, excited for Fun Token, the payments as well. There's potentially also a base airdrop because FDF is or SDF is run on the base network. So maybe there's an airdrop for that. But either way, right, for me, these are all just bonuses. The fact that I'm creating content with you guys, for example, a podcast is really exciting. The fact that we can go live also together is also really exciting. I think there's a lot of good things happening in this space specifically. Now, it can always happen, obviously, that crypto goes down because usually we're towards, let's be honest, we're towards the end of the bull market. Like Bitcoin from the lows is up like 1,000%. went up from 20K. Now we were at 120 or something, and now we're back down to 100. It might go a bit higher. If it goes low, we have seen that SDF can withstand if crypto goes down, because people want to play. Like, they still want to play a football game. They still want to play NFL or NBA, whatever it might be. So for me personally, no matter what happens, I'm just excited to be in this space, to create content, and yeah, to have all these fun, no pun intended, opportunities. So yeah, just glad to be here and excited to continue moving forward.
So I think for me, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to will be dark mode.
Yeah, sorry, we forgot that.
I think
Dark mode.
all the rest is a nice to have, but dark mode for me is a necessity.
Take your phone.
Well, I messaged in the Discord the other day. I was like, when I'm driving at night, the website's too bright on my phone, and they're like, why are you on your phone when driving? I was like, oh well,
Yeah, what are you doing?
Maybe I've left the gym and just thought, I wonder what the results are looking like, the live score, and I'm like, but no,
Get a nice little dopamine hit.
Yeah, that's, do you know what I mean? It's not much to ask for, just whether I'm in the top 5 of the leaderboard or not. But yeah, I think there's lots and lots of good to come, and I love like the suggestions channel in the Discord. I don't know if you guys kind of check that much, but people put things up and you can thumbs it up or down. I think there's kind of a lot of good stuff that's been raised, and I know there's quite a lot of stuff now that's getting re-raised. And it's good then to see sometimes like the team come back saying it is on the to-do list, just not a kind of number one priority. But I think in terms of growth of the game, there's a lot of stuff that they're clearly working on, and kind of going forward. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking for then. Why don't we look at this week's fixtures? It's Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning for Sam. Podcast will go out on Friday. Kind of, what are some predictions for the sporting events of the weekend across the board? For keep it football related. I'll kick us off if you want. My outrageous take of the week. If we make this a weekly segment where we review outrageous takes. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm riding high on the win against Real Madrid, and I think we go away to the Etihad, and I'm gonna put it out there now. I'm gonna say we're gonna beat Man City 5-0. I think Mohamed Vasheli will keep us a clean sheet. Konate is still a bit of a donkey at the back, but I think he'll lock down Haaland. I see a brace coming for Mo Salah, Ekatike bagging a goal, maybe Cody Gakpo another, and I don't know, maybe a Szoboszlai set piece to bin a free kick top corner. So yeah, that's my outrageous take that I will be.
It's gonna be in Anfield or Etihad?
What's that, sorry?
It's gonna be in Anfield, the game?
Oh no, it's at Etihad. We're away at Man City.
Okay.
So 5-0.
0-5 basically.
Yeah, well, 5-0 at Liverpool.
Okay.
On Sam, what's your take?
Does this have to be specific to our favorite team, or just any take?
Just across the board.
Okay, Velovee, why don't you say first? Because I'm just looking at the fixtures. I didn't look yet.
Like, for me, it's not that difficult. Nottingham Forest, they play home against Leeds. So you already know the midfielder you need to buy. It's a financial advice, and it's Anderson. You need to buy Anderson. After, when he does 200 points, you are gonna thank you. That's my advice for the weekend. Nottingham Forest against Leeds. That's it.
So your outrageous take is Elliot Anderson scoring 200 points against Leeds, but you don't think it's outrageous?
200 points against Leeds, exactly. That's my yes.
Say like 250 or 300.
No, to be exactly, you want exactly 215 points.
Wow,
love it.
That's it.
All right, so I had a look. I see there's Spurs, Man United. Now, this is an interesting one because last year they were near the bottom, and we've seen a resurgence of Tottenham and Man United this season. I'm gonna go for a 4-3 win for Man United,
Oh,
and the goal scorers, we will have a hat trick from Sesko.
Fucking hell.
And then for Tottenham, we will have a brace from Kolo Muani.
okay.
That should be a good game to watch. Then that's the early kickoff for us over here on the Saturday. So I'll be tuning into that. So what we're locking in then at 5-0 Liverpool win against Man City, 215 points scored for Elliot Anderson against Leeds, and a 4-3 win for Man United on the road against Spurs. Is that right?
Sounds
it.
realistic. Yep.
Right, we'll tune in next week then and go from there. And I think to make a few more predictions then to wrap up the podcast, I think it's not an episode 1 if we don't look into the future. So kind of, I don't know how good you guys want to do it, whether we do, kind of a 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, 5 years. What are kind of some projections and predictions for Sport.Fun kind of in the short term, 1 to 3 months, kind of mid-term, 6 to 12 months, and then a bit of a long term in terms of 5 years. Do you want to kick us off, Phil, with the short term? What do you kind of see coming in the next few
Short
months?
term, like in 1 month, I think we will have NFL. I don't think the playoffs are gonna be in 1 month, or no, I don't know.
Not quite. The playoffs will start in, I think, start of January, off the top of my head.
Yes, okay. So for the short term, I think, like I said, the market cap of NFL is gonna be high, and then some people are gonna sell off and reinvest on FDF. So I think it's gonna be like a balanced market again. I think we will go around 30, 35 market cap for Football.Fun, and for NFL, I don't know, but I think that's gonna be like I said, a very hyped on the beginning. So like I explode the market and more people joining, and like more people joining NFL is good because they are gonna know that they have Football.Fun, so it's better for the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
So yes, for the short term, I think there's gonna be this rebalanced for NFL coming back to football.
So do you think, I mean, NFL is going to last for about 3.5 months. So do you think in about a month's time from now, NFL market cap will be higher than the football market cap?
I think so.
Okay.
Because like I said, like Americans, crypto and everything, like America, they have the dollars, So I think yes, maybe yes.
Sam, do you have a kind of short term? What do you think short term in the next month or so?
Yeah. So like Velovee said, America. I feel the freedom is coming to the FDF ecosystem. They're gonna go ham on NFL. It's gonna, like he said, overtake the Football.Fun market cap.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could get an explosion to 50 million, in my opinion, at least. Maybe even 100. I think it's gonna be explosive the first few weeks, like we saw with football.
Yeah.
But I saw a tweet from Adam. He said there's even more demand for NFL than football at the beginning. So if history is to repeat itself, we're gonna get a great run up. In December, we're gonna get a sell off specifically from Bundesliga players. And I think then that will be my strategy is that when they're not playing in Jan for the first 2 weeks, they're gonna be low. I'm gonna probably reinvest the profits from NFL back to the Bundesliga. And medium to long term, obviously there might be a sell-off at the end of the season, even though there's the World Cup, etc. There's gonna be a reallocation of players that do play versus that don't play. And then any further than that, it's an open book.
I think for me, kind of, I'm in agreement that I think NFL is set to go higher than the football market cap. I think we're going to see the football market cap probably return to about 25 million, maybe just a bit north of that for the next kind of couple of months. And I think, the NFL will have no issue clearing 15, 20 million and probably sit around 30, 35 million. So I think it's going to be fairly close. The only reason I say that is because NFL is kind of, the season's not, the season's halfway through almost. I think had we have got the NFL from the beginning, we would have seen even more kind of people buy into it. But I assume people who are fans of NFL probably have their money locked up elsewhere at the moment, kind of, I think a bit of forward planning will be better. I think we probably see the FDF market staying there maybe a little bit lower because, like we say before, you've got Liga, you've got La Liga and Bundesliga all without games. We then also, in FDF, we're not going to be having AFCON competitions, which run over kind of the December Christmas period, which then means in the Premier League, you're going to be losing the likes of, the big names, the Mo Salahs, etc. So I think we're going to have such a small pool of players to actually have allocation for and play with. Any international competitions, you're going to be losing certain players from there. Any South American player, across Serie A and Premier League, we're going to be losing them. So I just think it's kind of, the football is going to get so constricted down that, it might be kind of, it's going to be good for stability. I just don't think we see it kind of kicking off. But that's kind of for me. And I think we will then move it on to kind of where do we see the game in 12 months from now? Velov.
12 months. I mean, you have the World Cup. Gonna be I think this is gonna be like the biggest, like case, like it's the biggest event of the world and everything. The Americans would say that it's the Super Bowl, blah 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 blah. But no, it's the World Cup. So I think this is gonna be a very differential. Like a lot of people joining and paying high, and a lot of deposits. So after the World Cup, basically we are not going to have a break because the World Cup finished and the leagues are back again. So I think this is not gonna be a problem, for football, just like NFL, because NFL, like you said, the team said that they will like find a way to reward people that keep their shares when NFL stops. Because if I'm not wrong, they stop like for more than 6 months, 5 months. So we will see what the team will like do for reward people that keep the players. But yes, for football, the World Cup, and after the leagues coming back again. So I think the markets on football, they are never gonna be like stopped, because we are always having like fixtures and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Sam?
For me, I'll have a prediction for this podcast. We will have at least, in 1 year, we will have at least 5,000 followers
Okay.
Okay.
on X.
We've gone past the outrageous
If we stay
stakes,
consistent, if we stay consistent.
Consistency is the key.
I'm just saying X, right? I'm not saying Instagram. I'm not saying YouTube. I have no clue. I think maybe those a bit less, but in X, 5K in 1 year at least.
Okay.
Lock it in. I think for
For
me,
yeah.
Go on.
No.
I was
just saying that for FDF, like I said, it's just gonna continue. Now there's no more breaks. Football, there's so many fixtures, so it's just gonna, provided everything stays normal, we're gonna be sitting here again in 1 year.
Love it. For me, in a year's time, I think Sport.Fun is gonna have NBA. I think we'll be running at least 3 sports. I think it will be NFL, NBA, and kind of the OG sport football. I'd like to say in a year's time we have the new scouting system up and running within football, where we'll be seeing the new players added. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, Jonathan David for Juventus has been linked for a move out in January, so he'll be, on his bike. We've obviously got people with long-term injuries like, a Kevin De Bruyne, Singo, the midfielder, who's, is it Turkey where he's playing at the moment, I think?
Galatasaray, yes.
Yeah, Galatasaray. So, we've got obviously a few players slowly fading away from being usable. A Trafford for Man City, the backup keeper. Does he go out on loan in the new year to a Premier League side? Does he go down to the Championship? We don't know. So is he going to ever, can we use him? So I think the scouting system would be great to get people into the game, involved into the game. I think we have the NBA running. NBA is probably one of the biggest games in terms of fantasy because they play like 3 times a week. I think there's like 85 games in the regular season or something daft like that. So there's going to be constantly stuff like that. And I think we'll see a combined kind of game mode where the page will, you'll log into Sport.Fun, you'll probably see your gold allocation and you'll see your port value for each, and it will literally be kind of unified where people are, the Saturday football games then get sold out afterwards if they don't perform, so people can go buy the NFL players that play on a Sunday, and then once they don't perform, they then sell the NFL and move out onto the NBA, which then play on a Monday, and then the NBA into a football for the Tuesday Champions League, and the trading volume is going to be massive, which then enables the buyback to kind of come back in, and
Exactly.
I think we're going to have this game in a year's time that once things come together, for people to sit and hold, you can sit and hold, and if you do it for a month, you'll watch your thing go up and down as people buy and sell, but you'll have your shares that earn your TP, and there'll be a new wave of people playing the game where it's just relentless trading, people buying into the boom and selling out, and it's going to be explosive. That's my
Chaos.
chaos, but I think it's going to be beautiful chaos. And let's end it out then on kind of where do we see in 5 years' time? Do we still see the podcast going? Do we still see the game going? Do we see that Sports.Fun might have been sold and we're now doing something else? We're playing golf, we're playing tennis. Like what do we think happens in 5 years' time?
Nossa, 5 years. I don't even know where I am gonna be in 5 years.
What country will you be in 5 years' time?
I have no idea. 5 years, I have no idea. No idea. I think yes, like if it's everything perfect, they will be like for example, if we talk about betting, for example, in 5 years they weren't that popular, and for example, right now they are very, very popular. So if like the crypto thing, like it's gonna be viral, like Football.Fun, Sport.Fun, they have everything to be like the best sport crypto gaming, for play, to trade, to have fun. So if everything's gonna be right, I don't know, we can have a lot of sports, we can have tennis, we can have golf, we can have UFC, everything. But like I said, even me, I don't know where I'm gonna be in 5 years, so I don't know. We will see. We will see.
Yeah, so for me, 5 years is a long time. I'm 27 now, I'll be 32. I think, like I said, there's gonna be more sports. I think the crypto market will have gone at least through one cycle more. So generally crypto market is a 4-year cycle, 5 years, I don't know, it depends. So I think we'll have some pain in the next 1 or 2 years, and then slowly again with another run up in 3, 4, 5 years, maybe with another wave of adoption for crypto products. But I think there will be some more pain before that because, like I said, we're so high now. It's gonna have to come down eventually, back down. So there's gonna be another wave of up and down with narratives, with positivity, negativity, and if SDF Sport.Fun can waver and can manage to navigate through that, then I see SDF in 3 to 4 years thriving with many sports, a lot of trading volume, like we said, higher increased TP tournament wins because of all the trading volume, buybacks, etc. So I think it has the potential to be a great game, even into the future. But with everything, we have to wait and see, specifically if they can weather the storm of the first 1 or 2 years. That's my prediction.
That's a much more calculated prediction than mine. I think in
5,000 followers, eh?
Yeah. I was going to say, if it's 5,000 after year one, we're going to be millionaires after 5 years. So I'm happy with that. I think for me, when I look in kind of 5 years' time, I think we're going to have, again, it's all should, would, could, whatever. I think it would be a case that the sport may have evolved. Sorry, Sport.Fun may have evolved to have other sports, and I think one of the things that is spoken about quite a lot in terms of tennis, golf, darts, something like that, where there's frequent competition. I think on the, call it lower level sports, it could easily be that licensing is attained for player likeness, image, name rights, where instead of it being a white shirt number 7, that's this player. You're actually going to have the player's face and stuff like that, where there'll be a lot more sponsorship. I know we've got mystery Man United footballer kind of on board, and the team has said they're editing those videos, and that will be great to see. But I think it could be a case that we get a lot more, of these players, these up and comers. I don't know if you guys kind of follow anything like that. Obviously, darts is kind of big in England, and Luke Littler, who popped up, who's now like 17, 18, had Luke Littler have been on this game as a, L. Littler, nobody would care. But if he was, face, name, shirt, whatever, people, I want to buy into his story, into his trajectory and stuff like that. And solo sports could be great. So I think my 5-year prediction is, in order for it to kind of continue, it needs to be a little bit more than, text on a page, and actually start having a bit of involvement, where if you buy shirts of, what is it? Is it Alcaraz, the Spanish tennis player?
Alcaraz.
So, say if you get Alcaraz and you're a shareholder in him and he goes and wins a Grand Slam, they could maybe auction off a pair of his tennis shoes, and you're in a raffle to go and win it, and all these things that it's kind of multi-layered, that we see other games do it, where other games get a signed shirt, get football tickets, get whatever it might be, a bit of something back.
World Cup ticket.
I'd want the flights paid for more than anything. So I think in 5 years' time, if it was to actually go to the masses, like we're seeing with MoonPay, it's probably going to be a lot more interactive for people than just kind of, bit of text and stuff like that. So that's my 5 years from now, where the game could and might be. Anything anybody wants to add before we kind of wrap it up, maybe?
Dark mode in 5 years. You think so? 5
What's
years?
that?
Dark mode in 5 years.
In a week.
Next week.
Yeah, in a week. Get it done. No, that's been great, lads. I mean, episode 1, I think we've kind of covered all the bases, bit of ourselves, bit about what we want to look and do, and I think kind of going from next week, see how our outrageous predictions have taken off. We'll be back and talk about some more, any big trades, any big market movers. We're coming closer to the time where NFL will be up and running with the marketplace, so we'll go through and break down and talk about the market, see whether you guys actually held your packs and your players, or whether you sold them off, and we'll take it from there. So if there's nothing from you guys, we'll wrap it up and we'll end it there.
Perfect.
Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week.
We are coming next week.
Next week.